And it's not a warm-up, we're on. Good evening and welcome. We're about to shoot an episode of Sweet and Sour. Thank you for joining us. The guests aren't in yet, but some of the boys are still setting up. Anyway, the letters tonight. First letter tonight. Should I tolerate my husband's infidelities? Short and sweet and very problematic. Second letter tonight is... Yes, mate.
Can you let me read out one of the... Wait! Oh.
Second letter... We have a lot of fun here at Sweet and Sour. Second letter tonight is, have our young learned anything at all? Have a look at our teenage girls. They're dumbing themselves down so that they can attract boyfriends. And our last letter tonight is, my neighbour's daughter is a witch. All this and more coming up in Sweet and Sour in about 20 seconds. Don't go away. We've got an ambulance. We can... Hello.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, cause baby it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Pour some sugar on there, baby.
It's time for Sweet and Sour.
Oh! Woohoo! There we go. Woo, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Terrific to have your company. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. Have we got a mob in for you tonight? The crew from Spontaneous Insanity here. First up, hello, Glenn Hall.
G'day, Gary. Good to see you again.
Mate, I've got to say, congratulations. I went to In a New York Minute and I'm still chuckling.
Oh, thank you.
It was terrific.
Well, look, it was great. We had a great response from the crowd, and I think that's the wonderful thing about improvisation is, you know, everyone's working together to make it the best show that they can.
And you've got another show coming up too.
Impro Unwrapped.
We'll show them a bit later in the show. And
yeah.
what's Impro Unwrapped?
Well, we're raising, trying to raise money and gifts for our fantastic charity.
And who are you raising money for?
Well, it's good that you asked, Gary. St Vincent de Paul's. It's their Christmas appeal, and there's 4 shows happening nationally. So just because you're not in Perth, it's no excuse. Just because you're not in Melbourne, it's no excuse. There's Melbourne, Perth, Sydney and Canberra.
Fantastic. All right, now the question is Nicola in the Perth show?
Oh, yes, she is.
Oh, is that right? Nicola, welcome to the panel.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Oh, good to have all of you mobbing. What are you going to be doing in the show, or is it all improv, so you can't tell me?
It's all improv, I have no idea.
How did you strike up an interest in improv? Who tapped you on the
I don't
shoulder?
like learning my lines.
Oh.
Just really easy. I have a young family, so it's just really easy to walk in.
How
just
young
do it.
is your young family?
I have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old.
So you do that and raise a 3-year-old and 6-year-old. Now, surely the 3-year-old and 6-year-old give you some lines that you really want to put in your pocket, but you can't because it's all improv, right?
And very inappropriate.
That's why she's on this show.
That's right.
Hello, Louisa.
Hello. Nice
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
You're going to sing something in German for us?
If you let me, I'd love to.
Which she did the other night when we went to see In a New York Minute. That was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, thank you. I always love an opportunity to sing in German or French, so
Right,
it's all
coming
good.
up just before the break, we'll have a...
Oh, God.
Where did you learn to sing in German or French? Or
Well, I've been singing like all of my life, and
did you learn German or French?
yes, I started learning German in Year 8, and I've been doing French for the past 4 years. So yeah.
No wonder you're well qualified to be an improv actress.
Absolutely.
Hang on, Craig, actress, actor, what are we allowed to say now? And welcome to the show.
G'day, Gary. Yes.
Is there such a thing as an actress anymore? Is there everybody an actor?
Look, people tend to now split it and make it politically correct, and everybody's an actor. It's a female actor or a male actor. I don't know. I reckon.
What do they do at the Academy Awards?
That's right. It's the award
actor.
for best
Female actor?
Female actor, isn't it? No, I actually think that's a lot of rubbish because I reckon actors and actresses. It makes it very clear.
Terrific, mate. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Are you ready to do some work?
Being controversial already.
I'm excited. Here we go. First letter comes to us from Broadmeadows of Victoria, so I'll read very slowly. All right, here we go. Dear panel, I feel as if my world is collapsing around me. I've just discovered that my husband... Notice the nice touch with the music in the background. Very, very...
Very nice.
Yes, yes. Very patent place. I've discovered that my husband has been sleeping around and has been for some time. In order to make some sense of it, I confided in my mother, only to find out that my darling dad had been just as much a philanderer. I expected Mum to tell me to leave my husband, but no, she advised me to turn a blind eye and accept him as he was. She believes some men are like that, and will never change, and if I love him, I should stay with him, just as she did with my dad. My dad passed away 2 years ago, so I can't ask him about it at all. So panel, is my mum right? Should I tolerate my husband's infidelities? Or would that make my marriage nothing but a sham? How can I protect my children from it? I don't think I have my mother's nerve. As I said, Kath from Meadows in Victoria. First up to Glenn. What's going on here, mate?
Well, look, this is a really difficult one, Gary. But I think in the end, her mother made a choice to stay with her father, which obviously she felt was the best choice. But I think this lady's got to make her own choice. You know, she's got to stand up. If she doesn't feel this is right, then, I mean, look, I wouldn't cheat on my wife. And if I did, I wouldn't.
I'm glad you're saying that on national television.
My mother-in-law watches this show. So I think she just needs to get rid of the punk. You know, just toss him out, turf him out. Forget what her mum says. Just get rid of him.
Tough love.
Yeah. Well, look, and as Dr. Phil says, and that's my cultural reference. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
Is that right? The old cliche. Leopards can't change their spots.
That's right. Tigers
Nicola?
can't ditch their stripes.
Your view is?
Well, she obviously wants to stay with him, otherwise she would have left him. So I say, if he's having all the fun, you should be having some fun too. Make it an open marriage. And, yeah, have some fun with it. So make sure the children are protected. Put some rules in place so you don't invite people
You're
to
like
the house.
playing around on the side.
That's a much
Do I
better
like
idea.
What are you...
Well,
no,
you can
I'm
tell
just
us if you want.
saying... No, absolutely not. I don't condone it in any way.
3-year-old
but I'm
and
saying-
6-year-old. You'd be too tired, love.
It's good for the goose.
Absolutely, and I just, you know, she kind of sounds like she wants to stay with him. She's not comfortable with what he's doing, so, you know, try for a while. And trust me, you'll probably get more offers than he does, and he'll be jealous.
Ooh.
Go for it, have some fun.
Is that good medicine?
I think so.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, what do you say to Kath?
Open marriage all the way.
Open marriage?
Yeah, well, I think it's a really interesting situation.
How are the kids going to fare in an open marriage like that?
Well, you know, they get love from even more people, so it works out quite well.
Okay.
You know, got a few dads, got a few mums.
Speaking from experience?
Unfortunately
No,
not.
okay.
You're a hippie child.
Absolutely.
I just figure, I don't know, I might be traditionally minded, etc. I just figure open marriage, then all of a sudden the marriage just starts to crumble and you really don't have anything. I'm just wondering,
But then
is
there's
there
an
anything...
answer. Then there's an answer, and then the marriage is over. At least she's
Well,
given
is
it
it
a shot.
salvageable at this point in time when she knows? Now, I know a lot of people who've patched up their relationship because they've had problems and one's wandered off and they've had solid relationships. When do you know if it's too late to patch up? How do you know?
I think it makes you work harder because, you know, you have this obstacle that you have to overcome. And so I think couples that have to go through this probably come out stronger in the end because they've had to speak to each other.
Very
They've
true.
had to talk to each other about it. And communication is the key to
No
a
gain without
relationship.
pain, the old cliche again. Amazing. If you happen to find your partner in this situation where he was being unfaithful, what medicine might you adopt?
Well, my boyfriend's a dungeon master, so I'm
What
not
the
sure
hell
that's
is
going to
that?
happen.
What's a dungeon
come up
master?
He
with
plays
torture.
Dungeons and Dragons.
I was going to say, we don't have castles here in Australia, do we?
That must be the luckiest Dungeons and Dragons player in the world
Hang
to
on.
have Louisa as a
Hang
partner.
on. He's a dungeon master.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, well, it's not just that he
Do you know what this is?
Yes, I do.
Do you know what this
Yeah.
is? Craig, do
Everyone
you know what
knows.
this is?
Wizards and fairies and things like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty much. You know, traveling
Have you played
adventurers.
this?
I tried to, but I never quite understood it.
How old is he?
He's 21.
And what do you do in Dungeons and Dragons? Do you
Oh.
have affairs and things like that? You go,
It's a group game. It's a tabletop game, kind of like board
Keys
games.
involved.
Exactly. Again,
There's
with
your
the
answer right
open
there.
relationship.
A group game, a
Group
tabletop game. I'm
this
liking
is
it.
Absolutely.
Roll the 12-sided dice.
And where do you sign up? Come on, Craig, give us
There's
the last word on
costumes
this
as
one.
well.
Well, look, she's asking the wrong people. She's asking him. She asked her mum. She wants to know what her father thought.
She's also asked us.
She's worried. She's asked us. She's worried about what her children think. I mean,
Who should she ask?
The two people she needs to ask are herself and her husband, really. And you need. I think they need to define what marriage is. I mean,
For them.
marriages are all different for them. So some marriages are going to survive this sort of thing. Some marriages are going to collapse. They need to define the rules. So she needs to talk to him.
All right, go and talk to your husband, Craig said. There you go. When we come back, we're going to be putting some money in the St Vinny's bowl,
Lovely.
and we're going to be talking about the progress of the women's movement. When we come back, don't go away. We'll see you soon. What's happening? We're back, are we? Oh, are we back? We're back. Oh,
Yeah.
All right, where we go. We don't know what's going on here. See, it's spontaneous insanity tonight. Goodness me, welcome back to Sweet and Sour. Can I show you that? I don't know. Do you want to... Hang on, I'm supposed to angle it down. And Glenn, what am I looking at there?
Well, this is the poster for Impro Unwrapped, the
Yeah,
Perth
there you go.
version. And what we want people to do is bring along a brand new wrapped gift to the show and put it under our Christmas tree.
Yep.
And just for a small fee to get in,
Yep.
$10. And then what we'll do is we'll make up things on stage and we'll use the gifts that you bring. We'll unwrap one and we'll use that as our suggestion for our scene.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And it's in Perth on December the 12th.
That's right.
Sydney, December the 12th.
That's right.
Melbourne, December the 12th.
That's right. We're going to do a big link up between our three cities in Perth and do an improvised scene across the ether. Oh, and St Vinny's are our great sponsors. We're very pleased to be able to support
Good on you, St Vinny's.
their Christmas appeal.
Coming your way, St Vinny's.
And
A few more coins as well.
it's
And
also Canberra, December 4th, a week
December
earlier.
4th?
That's right.
How come they couldn't link up on December 12th?
Well, you know, it's Canberra. They're ahead of the
Canberra.
game.
Oh,
They're moving.
okay.
They're shaking.
What was Adelaide's problem?
What's Adelaide's problem?
We like Adelaide. And hello, Adelaide, to
Hello.
all our viewers in Adelaide.
Adelaide.
We love you. Have we got any...
Radelaide.
Yeah.
Actually, no letters from Adelaide tonight. Never mind.
We love you.
If you'd like to send us a letter, send it to the address that's appearing on your screen right now, which is letters@sweetandsour.net.au. It'll land here. And every letter that we do read out, we're going to send you to the movies, courtesy of Natalie Cameron and NRC Communications. And the movie we're sending you to this week is Reds, if I've got it right. Yes,
Red.
it says Red. It
Red.
is, that's right.
Yeah,
Reds was
solid.
with Warren Beatty.
Warren
That's
Beatty.
right.
Yeah. And it didn't win the Academy Award that year, and he was really dirty. I remember his... Yeah.
Exactly. Featuring the Craig Williams lookalike Bruce Willis.
Is that... Oh, this movie?
That's right.
Yeah. Craig Williams looking like...
Yippee-ki-yay!
MF.
Dear Mitch,
Oh, another one.
after fighting for my rights back in the 60s, another one. What do you think you're here to do? I'm appalled at the state of women's affairs today. Sure, now we can go out. Thank you for the music. That's terrific. Sure, now we can go out to work, but we still have to do all the chores once we're home. Why are household jobs still considered to be women's work? Are men still so fickle? How many divorced mothers have to single-handedly raise families on their own? But have our young daughters even learnt anything at all? Just take a look at teenage girls, or even younger girls than that, playing dumb and helpless so that they can attract a boyfriend. In magazines, women are more often than not sexualised and shown as submissive. Is it any wonder then that many young men still don't know how to relate to women as human beings? Where did it go wrong? What have we really achieved? And are women any better off? We're going to Craig. We should go to a woman on this one first, but not. We're going to Craig.
All right,
Craig,
that's-
first word to a man and last word to a man as well.
Okay, well, look, I don't know how to relate to this woman. What she's, in magazines, women are more often than not sexualised and shown as submissive.
Depends on the magazine.
Yeah, that's
doesn't
it. Yeah, the first thing that springs to mind is women being shown as submissive in women's magazines, to fashion and to clothing and makeup and gossip and all of that sort of stuff. I mean, that's, and yet they're always having to be sexually fulfilled in the magazine. So that the women in the media is creating some of that. But look, you can't have it both ways. On one hand, she's complaining about divorced women having to go it alone. And then on the other hand, my advice there would be, look, get out and find someone who's going to help you in life. But on the other hand, she's looking at the teenage girls and criticising them for trying to get out and attract a partner. I mean, where is she sitting? She's doing two things at once.
She's all over the place.
I can't relate to this woman.
Yeah, she wants everybody to
Look, she's...
do as she's crusaded, I suppose.
But I mean, the key figure here is she was fighting for her rights back in the 60s. I mean, if you can remember the 60s, then
You're past it, honey.
yeah. So I don't know.
Cruel.
Yeah, she's still getting flashbacks from
Lou,
whatever. Yeah.
what's going on here? Isn't it just a matter of choice? Now, teenage girls, women everywhere can do whatever they like, whether they want
Yeah.
to be submissive women or if they want to be...
Look, I think
Career
a lot of
orientated?
women really, get out there, and I think women's live has come a long way. But I think the issues that that Liz is raising are not necessarily male-female issues. I think any couple is going to have that sort of situation, whether it's a gay or lesbian couple. There's always going to be, or even a share house. There's always going to be someone in the house that hates doing the dishes, and someone in the house who's an amazing cook. Well, there you go.
Not me. Not me.
So really,
hate the
do you
dishes.
want the other person to be making all the meals if they're just going to be making steak every night? That's my question.
Nicola, how fickle are men?
I don't think men are fickle at all, but
Are women fickle?
no, but
No one's
we're-
fickle in this
yeah.
ideal world of Nicola's.
no, absolutely not.
We
But
call
I
her
do.
Fickle Nicola.
Maybe come over there, Craig. What I do feel is that she does have a point. I teach a lot of teenage girls, and I teach them drama, and I kind of see what they're allowed to wear, and I actually have to bring in dress codes because what they're wearing to drama is
Really?
inappropriate. Yeah, and I think it's difficult now. There's sure, women's lib has
How
been a
old are we
wonderful
talking
thing.
about when you say...
So I teach from 7-year-olds to 27-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got the teenagers in there as well, and the kind of the upper primary and the younger teens. And I do think there's pressure on them, and I think it is difficult for young women. But what I do love about what the women's movement has given us is this incredible sense of choosing our own destiny. No longer do we have to do what's in front of us. We get to choose, and we live in a great country where we're supported in our choices.
Fantastic. Glenn, what's the women's movement done for you?
It's made me soft, Gary. It's made me very, very soft. I am actually a domestic goddess at home. Look, these hands didn't remain so soft and clean because I spent my time fixing cars and working in the garden. And look, my wife does she knows cars better than me, she's better at mowing the lawn than me, but I can wash clothes on the right cycle every time. And if you want to know who to blame in this, Gary, it's Video Hits. Oh, it's Video Hits. Have you seen Video Hits recently? No. It's all pimps and hoes.
Right.
The men are the pimps and the ladies are the hoes. And you watch any hip-hop video
No one's
clips,
doing the dishes.
CeeLo Green?
and nobody's doing the dishes. There's a big stack of dirty dishes next to the car with all the
They're all
pimps
kind
and the
of
hoes
waving
in
their
it.
bodies around.
And the guys get to
rubbing
wear
oil
long,
into it.
loose-fitting jeans and shirts, and all the girls get to wear a piece of clothing that's that big.
I'm missing out. I've got to watch more
Video
Hits.
Hits Saturday morning. It's
Saturday
soft porn
morning.
for
Yeah,
kids.
it is.
We've got to go on to our next letter, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about whether witchcraft is alive and well. Don't go away.
Sweet and sour has been one of my most favourite dishes. With good preparation and fine ingredients, it can be so, so tasty.
It's filling. By the end of the show, it should be brimming over the top. I'm going to pass it around the crew. Dear Gary and panellists, my neighbour's daughter is a witch. Since turning 15, she's become a nuisance and a nightmare. Frankly, the girl scares me. She prowls around at my place at all hours and always has a ready excuse to drop in. I don't know whether I'm paranoid or not, but I swear things have been going missing. I was totally flabbergasted to find her getting close and personal with my son in his bedroom. I was so angry, I threw her out of the house, and since then, I've noticed little acts of vandalism around my garden. A broken ornament here and there, rubbish in the letterbox, a cat got sick, etc. I know her mother, and she's a good friend and neighbour, but what am I going to do with this daughter of hers? My son says she's harmless, but I don't think so, and it comes to us from Lorena of Crestmead in Queensland. Far enough away from us. Go for it, guys. Nicola.
Well, Rena, I think you're a bit of a witch. Because I have to tell you, if you're allowing and condoning your son to be playing around with a 15-year-old in his room, in your house, and you're concerned that a couple of pot plants are missing, then I think you've got your brain needs a bit of examining. I think that you really need to keep her best interests in heart. You're a woman and she's a woman, and you need to look after her. If she's infatuated with your son and that's why she's turning up at your house, that's what it sounds like to me. You need to look after her. You need to have a chat with her. And the whole cat getting sick thing, please. You know, if she's angry with you, she'll do something to you. She's not going to poison the cat.
So you reckon you should just make her your friend?
Yeah, absolutely. Look after her. You know, and she's in love with your son.
Kill her with
Give her a
kindness.
break. He's obviously a good guy.
Kill her anyhow.
I
with
wanted to
kindness.
know, Gary, when in the law books, you know, those tomes, when was making a cat sick called vandalism? I've never, I don't understand
When
that.
it's done with a scalpel, I suppose.
Exactly. Exactly. I would have been convicted of vandalism all those years. No, I'm joking. What I think the problem is here is Mummy's boys found another girl who he likes more than Mummy. Oh. Yeah, you see, and she's lost her teenage son. He's interested in other girls. His mum's cramping his style. She's a bit daggy. And, you know, he's found a girl that he likes more than his mum. It had to happen sometime. It's happened. Just let him go and have fun. You know, unless she's actually a practicing witch. If she's just a witch, then, you know, let him go for it.
Yeah. And she'll be good with aromatherapy and stuff. Which
That's
is,
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Craig, anything wrong with the 15-year-old having the neighbour's daughter in his room?
Look, she's 15, so he's probably older. Like, he may well be 16, 17 in a couple of years.
Or 12.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah.
Half his luck, wow. But look, it just occurred to me, maybe he's a werewolf. I think my advice then is to put lots of garlic
really
around the door.
sexy.
Yeah, look, because we're prowling around the house, cats and everything. It really sounds like an episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm flabbergasted as well. I just think she hasn't noticed there's a teenage boy in her house, and she hasn't sort of, you know, obviously he's going to be, in a couple of years he's going to be making his own decisions. If she doesn't relate to him, which she's not in this letter, she's complaining about the girl coming in, but she's not seeing it from his point of view. In a couple of years, he's going to be making his own decisions in life, and if she wants to be part of his life, she's going to have to see it from his point of view somehow.
If he wants to ride the broomstick.
That's it, yeah.
Last word to a woman on this one.
You know what, Gary? I think it sounds to me like this girl has much too much time on her hands. And so I think since she's 15 now, she should get into some gainful employment. I was actually browsing around eBay the other day, and there are some Wiccans, some witches, that sell their spells, and they make fortunes out of it. They sell their spells so you can buy like a blessing for your career.
Consult
or
a
your
real
love life.
witch.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And that'll solve your problem.
Well, apparently she is a witch. If she's got powers like this, she should be using them for good. And then if she doesn't go away after that, I think she should just, Rena should just write a letter to her and sign it off saying she's been accepted to Hogwarts, and the witch will probably head off to London.
Yeah, there's money in that. Yeah,
Absolutely.
All right, Lou, which letter do you like to give away the pair of limited edition sunglasses courtesy of Alan Treves and Aussie Opticals?
Well,
the first?
Who needs it the most?
second? Who needs it the
The witch
most?
can just go
Yeah.
like that and see a movie.
Yeah.
No.
Which one do you like? First letter is about poor Kath of Broadmeadows. Her world's collapsing around her because her husband's a philanderer. Second letter is... What's going on here? Oh, women's issues. And the third letter is the witch. Which one do you like?
I think we'll go with letter one.
Letter one?
Yeah.
Which one do you like?
Letter one.
they're
Take your
all-
husband, go to the movies.
They're all
Night out.
suckers for a sob story. Coming out to Kath of Broadmeadows, a pair of limited edition sunnies, courtesy of Alan Treves and Aussie Opticals. Quick last word on that, Glenn.
Oh, Impro Unwrapped, you must come and
Dates
see it.
again?
Great.
The dates are the 12th of December in Melbourne, Perth and Sydney, and the 4th of December in Canberra. And you can go to these websites, Impro Melbourne, Impro Australia, Impro ACT and Spontaneous Insanity, and you can find out what's happening.
Thanks, Spontaneous Insanity, for being on our show. And we've got to go. Good night, Australia. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
What happened to the bits? Okay.